Well, folks, last week it was reported that the Chinese were going to open a spy base in Cuba, which is pretty scary stuff. You don't really want the Chinese, 90 miles from the American coast with a spy base. And the Biden administration denied it. They said, no, it's not happening. So you'll recall that this broke into public view a couple of weeks ago when there was a report that Cuba had allowed China to set up an actual spy base in Cuba, which sounded very much like what the USSR did with Cuba during the Cuban Missile Crisis. They tried to set up nuclear missiles on Cuba. Well, apparently China had said that they were going to set up some sort of spy base in Cuba, and the Biden administration lied about it. So here was John Kirby, who is the national security spokesperson for the Biden administration, denying the report just a couple of weeks ago.
China and Cuba have now reached a secret agreement, we are told, for China to establish an electronic facility on the island, which would allow Chinese intelligence services to scoop up electronic communications throughout the southeastern U.S. What is your reaction to this?
Look, I've seen that press report. It's not accurate. What I can tell you is that we have been concerned since day one of this administration about China's influence activities around the world, certainly in this hemisphere and in this region. We're watching this very, very closely, and we will, and we have, and will continue to take steps to mitigate any potential threat that those activities might pose.
Oh, well, so that's him lying, because as it turns out, they did actually have a deal with Cuba. So the administration's new excuse is the same excuse they used with the Chinese spy balloon. So remember the Chinese spy balloon? They were like, it's nothing. It's just a balloon, man. It probably just flew off course. And then it turned out, no, it was sending signals the entire time back to China, and it was generating intelligence by hovering over particular American bases and then sending all that back to China. And then we shot it down after it reached water. And the Biden administration's initial response was, why is this even a big deal? Why do you even care? Why do you even care? And then when it turns out that a lot of Americans cared, their next response was, we'll shoot down Mylar balloons above Lake Michigan. And also, we're going to claim that this happened a lot during Trump. It's their typical go-to move. Their MO is, it's not happening. Oh, it is happening, but it's not a big deal. Oh, it is happening, and it's a big deal, but actually it's Trump's fault. Right? That's the three-step right here. So that's where they went yesterday. John Kirby, national security spokesperson, he's like, this has been happening since Trump administration. Okay, then why were you lying about it a week ago? Why didn't you just say, we've known about this for a while. It's been happening for a while. I mean, we've been trying to deal with, just if you were going to blame Trump, why wouldn't they have done that a week ago? They're always happy to blame Trump for everything.
So, look, I think you can understand why we're not going to be able to get into too much detail about our own counterintelligence efforts. But as we communicated over the weekend, this is not a new development that China's been trying to achieve some intelligence gathering capabilities in Cuba and, frankly, elsewhere in the hemisphere. And that from day one, when we came in, we took this issue seriously. We've taken some steps to try to mitigate the vulnerability of those activities, and we're going to keep doing that.
We took it so seriously we lied to you 1 week ago. It takes a special kind of company to want to partner with the show, a company that is not afraid of the controversies engendered by the show, not afraid of shows that actually speak the truth. Pure Talk is a company like that. This is why I'm proud to stand with Pure Talk, because they make it possible for me to get up here and bring you facts, logic, and truth every single day. Pure Talk shares my values as well as the values of Matt Walsh, Michael Knowles, Candace Owens, and the rest of the Daily Wire hosts. This is why we made them the official wireless partner of the Daily Wire. But that's not the only reason. We checked the coverage, and it is indeed premium. Pure Talk is the most dependable 5G network in the United States. I use it myself. Mix and match your plans to fit every person in your family. Choose from text, talk, and 5G data for just $20 a month, all the way up to unlimited data with mobile hotspot for $55 a month. Remember, you vote with how you spend your money, so why would you give your money to a company that hates your guts? Instead, why don't you spend your money on a company that will give you amazing coverage? I know, because I have Pure Talk coverage on my own phone, and they don't hate your guts. Go to puretalk.com/Shapiro. Save an additional 50% off your very first month of coverage. That is puretalk.com/Shapiro. Pure Talk is wireless for Americans by Americans. Go check them out right now. puretalk.com/Shapiro to save an additional 50% off your very first month of coverage. Picture that perfect summer night. The kids aren't actually bugging me for a change. The dog is behaving. The family's over for a barbecue. It's beautiful outside. The grill should be sizzling with its delicious smells and foods, but the propane tank is empty. Tragedy strikes. Well, this is where our friends at Cinch come in. Cinch is a propane grill tank home delivery service. They deliver propane tanks directly to your door on your schedule. They don't require any long-term commitment or subscription. Plus, delivery is completely contactless. You don't have to wait around at home. Track the order on the Cinch app from anywhere. The perfect summer night would not be complete without Cinch. Go to cinch.com or download that Cinch app. Use promo code Shapiro to get your first tank exchange for just $10. That is CYNCH.com. promo code Shapiro. I got to tell you, there's nothing more irritating than you're about to get started on the barbecue and you look in that propane tank and it is empty. Cinch can fix all that for you. It's a limited time offer. You have to live within a Cinch service area to redeem it. Visit cinch.com/offer for details. Again, that's CYNCH.com. Promo code Shapiro. Go check them out right now. CYNCH.com. Promo code Shapiro to get that first tank exchange for just $10. Kirby was asked, so why were you lying about it? He's like, I wasn't lying exactly. I just couldn't go into more detail. Here we go.
Can you just explain why you didn't confirm all of this when it was first reported last week? You said it was inaccurate, but what was inaccurate seemed to basically be the tense that they, weren't going to establish but had already established this facility. Why wait till Saturday to put this out there?
I'm actually really glad you asked that question. I can tell you that.
Are you?
That we were as forthcoming as we should have been at the time the first stories appeared. There is the sensitive nature of this information is such that we just simply couldn't go into more detail even before the first story appeared.
So I'm going to use that one. That seems great. I was going to be like, did you take out the garbage today? I will be like, I did. And then she will look into the garbage can and she will see that the garbage is still there. And I'll be like, well, she'll be like, were you lying when you said you took out the garbage? I'll be like, well, what I meant was that 2 weeks ago I took out the garbage. And she's going to be like, well, that's not what I was asking about. Why are you lying about that? I'm like, I wasn't lying. I just wasn't presenting you with the full story, with the full information. Like, see how it goes with your significant other. See if that works. You cheat on your spouse and see how that goes. Like, are you cheating on me? No, I no, of course not. Oh, I found out that you've been cheating on me for the past year. Oh, you mean in the present tense? Oh, I thought you meant just like for always. Like, these people, my God, just the lies that they are willing to tell in order to avoid humiliation for like 35 seconds before they are completely unmasked. But what does this really have to do with? It has to do with the fact that the Biden administration is really soft on China and they want to continue to be soft on China. According to the Wall Street Journal, as Beijing and Washington move gingerly toward restoring high-level exchanges, Xi Jinping is stepping up his effort to gird China for conflict. So while the Biden administration is trying to smooch Xi's ass, meanwhile, Xi is like, well, what if I ramp this crap up? Since late last month, the Chinese leader has twice urged the nation to prepare for what he described as extreme scenarios or conditions, trotting out a phraseology implying the possibilities of escalating tensions as the competition between the U.S. and China intensifies. At a top-level meeting focused on national security on May 30th, the Chinese leader said we must be prepared for worst-case and extreme scenarios, and we must be ready to withstand the major test of high winds, choppy waters, and even dangerous storms. So Joe Biden is out being like, it's not a big deal. Are we worried that much, or should we be worried? Let's just make best friends. Meanwhile, she's like, batten down the hatches. We're getting ready for war. A week later, she extended that concept to the economic arena. While inspecting an industrial park in Inner Mongolia, she said efforts to build up domestic markets are aimed at ensuring normal operation of the national economy under extreme circumstances, all of which looks very much like we better get our domestic markets in order because we may be very soon alienating like the entire global market. And there's only one way that happens, and that would be with the invasion or the blockade of Taiwan. So the Biden administration busily lying to you while the Chinese prepare for more extreme measures. Alrighty, guys, the rest of the show continues right now. You're not going to want to miss it. We'll be getting into the latest economic reports. We've got some inflation reports that are now out. If you're not a member, become a member. Use code Shapiro. Check out for 2 months free on all annual plans. Click that link in the description and join us.